Welcome to this explainer. Today, we're diving into a totally fascinating thought experiment. We're going to break down the mechanics, the economics, and honestly, the profound emotional weight of leveraging absolute foresight. We're exploring a scenario that fundamentally changes how we view time, knowledge, and success itself.
So let's put you right in the driver's seat for a second. I want you to imagine what it would actually feel like to wake up exactly a decade ago. But here's the catch. You wake up with all your current memories, your knowledge of trends, and your understanding of global events flawlessly intact. You are you, right now, just suddenly dropped into the world of 10 years ago.
Wild, right?
All right, that brings us to Section 1, the 10-year drop. The disorientation of this transition doesn't announce itself with some massive cinematic thunderclap. Instead, it hits you with a sudden, quiet, and pretty jarring realization of your surroundings.
You literally blink, and the smartphone in your hand is suddenly this thick, chunky artifact from a bygone era. Suddenly, you're dealing with an internet that feels agonizingly sluggish. I mean, you're waiting 10 whole seconds for a single grainy image to load on a 3G network, and you're deeply, deeply missing the lightning-fast data streams you took for granted just moments ago. The cultural references on TV are completely obsolete, and the mainstream political debates just feel incredibly naive because they're completely missing the massive global paradigm shifts that you know for a fact are coming.
In a single quiet moment, any initial wave of nostalgia you might have is just instantly crushed by a staggering realization of immense informational power. You are standing in a world where everyone else is blindly navigating a foggy, unpredictable future. But you're walking forward with a high-definition historical archive locked firmly inside your brain. You have literally just been dropped into the ultimate sandbox of chronological privilege.
Which perfectly segues into Section 2, Building a Digital Empire. This is where your absolute asymmetry of knowledge transforms you from a passive observer into an unassailable oracle of the early internet landscape.
When you browsed the internet of a decade ago, you don't look at it as casual entertainment anymore. You look at the embryonic state of video streaming and digital content as wide-open, completely unprotected territory. While other creators are out there wildly guessing what titles or thumbnails might grab attention, you possess the literal cheat sheet. You know exactly which algorithms will favor long-form educational breakdowns. You know that geopolitical news channels are going to capture hundreds of thousands of hyper-engaged viewers during upcoming global shifts. And you know exactly how the audience's appetite for analytical commentary and roasts is going to evolve. So it becomes a simple, unstoppable formula, really. Claim the unprotected online territory, produce exactly what you know the world will crave, and then just watch it scale vertically at an unprecedented trajectory. Why does it work so well? Because you're building the exact media empire the masses want years before they even know they want it.
But, it doesn't stop at the internet. Welcome to Section 3, Scaling the Physical World. This brilliantly illustrates how the operational leverage of your future site bleeds directly out of the digital realm, right into the gritty, highly profitable world of physical entrepreneurship.
Just walking through commercial markets, you can literally see massive consumer demands and supply chain bottlenecks long before they form. You know exactly which raw materials, like lithium or specific types of lumber, are mathematically guaranteed to skyrocket in value. You know which local food production models like, gourmet fast casual food trucks will absolutely capture the market. You know precisely when automated machinery or even specific stainless steel mobile vending setups will become essential, highly profitable tools. And so you systematically invest your early digital profits directly into these high-yield local industries. The absolute game changer here is that you're completely bypassing the years of expensive trial and error that bankrupt most traditional startups. You're securing ancestral property boundaries, building super efficient regional distribution chains, and establishing manufacturing hubs way before the market gets overcrowded and hyper-saturated by late-arriving competitors.
Of course, all this hyper-efficient scaling introduces a pretty heavy burden. Let's move to Section 4. The psychological toll. Because being an oracle isn't just about getting rich, it carries a massive, and honestly often overlooked, psychological weight.
It actually forces you into a deeply isolating psychological gauntlet during your daily interactions. You become this silent protector of your inner circle. Imagine you're sitting across from family, friends, or local business associates. You're listening to their long-term anxieties and their life plans with this profound sense of detached empathy, simply because you know with absolute certainty who will flourish and who is about to lose everything.
You have to carefully filter every single sentence that leaves your mouth.
You're constantly, consciously fighting the urge to over-explain a future crisis or reveal a tech trend that would just make you sound completely insane to them. You carried the crushing emotional weight of an unwritten history filled with massive global health crises, intense geopolitical realignments, and sudden market crashes that you know are waiting for society.
Basically, your mind turns into a heavily guarded vault. This forces you into a state of what we're calling detached empathy. You become the silent, invisible guardian of your inner circle. You're just quietly shifting their trajectories and moving their assets behind the scenes, subtly guiding them to long-term survival in order to shield them from hardships that cannot possibly see coming.
Finally, as those subjective years begin to crawl forward, the timeline eventually catches up to the very future you originally left behind. And this brings us to Section 5, Mastering the Future. You can track the evolution of your decade so clearly. You transition from the jarring shock of your arrival in year 1, push through the frantic sprint of optimization in year 5, to finally arrive at year 10, a state of profound personal clarity and deep, resonant mastery. You get to watch the major milestones of the decade unfold exactly as your memory predicted, but now you're encountering them from within the walls of a secure, self-built fortress of financial independence and creative dominance.
So here's the thing. The true prize of this 10-year head start isn't actually the incredible wealth or the massive influence. The ultimate reward is the total eradication of everyday anxiety. While the rest of humanity remains locked in a state of continuous panic over an unknown future, you get to move through the world with the calm, deliberate grace of a seasoned author rewriting a favorite book. You get to savor the slow ticking of the clock, watching your unique, customized vision for the future materialize perfectly into reality, just one day at a time.
As we close out this explainer, I really want to leave you with a provocative thought to ponder long after we finish up here. If you were handed this impossible gift, the burden, the isolation, and the absolute power of foresight, what would you choose to build with the ultimate sandbox of chronological privilege? Thank you so much for exploring this fascinating journey with me today.